Hello, my name is Casey. Today I will be presenting my vocabulary app, Velox Vocab. I will walk you through the steps I took to create this project by making a low-fidelity prototype for learning vocabulary on the go. We will start by meeting Katie. Katie is a proto-persona I created by gathering research from interviews I conducted to help identify user pain points and user expectations in certain situations. Katie is 28 years old, living in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. She is single and holds a job as a creative director. Her hobbies include working out, connecting with peers through networking, and reading. Katie has a few things she wants and needs from this app. She learns best by seeing the word used in sentences relevant to daily conversations. She would also like to add vocabulary she does not understand in books she is reading. She also wants a way to quickly and easily reference the words she is having difficulty learning. A quote from Katie: I'm constantly reading articles and books to keep myself up to date in my job industry. It is important for me to broaden my vocabulary so I can effectively convey my thoughts, feelings, and ideas intellectually to help maintain relationships with my clients, coworkers, and family. Katie is facing a dilemma. She's having a hard time finding an app that meets her goals and needs that is tailored to her busy lifestyle. She needs a way to learn vocabulary on the go that's used in daily conversations and be able to add and categorize her own vocabulary she would like to learn, because she wants to make efficient use of her time and form deeper connections with the people she interacts with. But how can we assist Katie with her problem? I've come to the hypothesis that we can help Katie by creating a simple app with the freedom to add, customize, and categorize words she would like to learn outside of the app, but also provide practical vocabulary used in daily conversations. We will achieve her desire to practice everyday vocabulary with the freedom to add her own words on the go to fit her busy lifestyle. But where do we start? I started by thinking about the types of tasks Katie would want to complete while using my app. I created a task analysis for creating a custom flashcard and practicing the vocabulary she is learning by taking a quiz. From there, I created the user flow for both tasks so we can see which path the user will take to complete each task. This step is important to help us identify how to organize the information within the app. The next step is the most exciting one. I finally get to see my data come to life in the shape of wireframe sketches. My next step involved me quickly sketching out wireframe ideas using the Crazy 8 method, while only allowing myself 10 minutes per user flow. This allows me to focus on creating solutions to Katie's tasks instead of wasting precious time focusing on the appearance of the app. While sketching these wireframes, I had to keep in mind the navigation system within the app and what content I would include with it. I selected the ideas I liked best from these sketches and created a prototype I could share with users for testing. I conducted a usability test plan by recruiting 3 participants to perform 4 simple tasks in the app. I will walk you through those tasks and the results I found through observing each user. I measured the severity of each error using Jakob Nielsen's 5 components of usability. 0 being, I don't agree that this is a usability problem at all, to 4, which is a usability catastrophe. It means it is imperative to fix this issue before the product can be released. Task 1, I asked, you're listening to an audiobook on the bus and you hear them use a word you've never heard of before. How do you add a new word and create a category for it? To my surprise, users tried to create a new category first before creating a new word to put inside the category. This was not a feature in my app. I assumed most users would click on the plus sign in the upper corner and add a word first, then category. I rated this a severity level 2. Task 2. You're reading an article and the author uses a definition to a word you're studying. How would you add a custom definition to a word you have in one of your categories? 2 testers knew exactly where to go and clicked on categories first and followed the prompts to add a custom definition. This task was pretty simple for them. There was one tester who had a tough time with this task. After noticing that the plus sign did not offer the options to add a custom definition, he clicked on each of the buttons labeled categories. All users questioned why there were 2 separate buttons labeled categories. I explained how the circle labeled categories is meant to be stats, or a quick glance of measurement for each number of card in the categories. You want to Task 3. You want to test your knowledge on the words you have been reviewing. How would you take a quiz and review the answers? All testers had no issue navigating through my app to take the quiz and review their answers, but all of them absolutely despised my card counter for each quiz. I thought it would be clever to incorporate a slider to pick how many cards you would like to quiz yourself on from each category. One tester brought up a very important point. What would happen if a category had 100 cards? It would be difficult to select specifically the amount of cards you would like to test given this slider function. Task 4. You're having a hard time remembering the definition to a word. You want to add this existing word in your Quick Review tab for easy access. One of the users accidentally clicked on the X button instead of the star button. Now let's see how I decided to fix these grievances about my app. Task 1. I completely redesigned the homepage to simplify navigation. I added the ability to add a new category and word in any order the user wishes using the plus button or category button. Task 2. I improved the navigation by redesigning the homepage. The big plus sign at the bottom will prompt users to add a word or category there first. I switched the second category button to say stats to eliminate the confusion. Task 3. I threw away the sliding scale idea for selecting the number of cards for each quiz. Instead, I incorporated a plus or minus sign on each side of the number. The user also has the freedom to type the number of cards they want to quiz themselves on. Task 4. I moved the quick review star away from the close button so there's no risk of accidentally closing that screen. Instead of having the single option for going into a category and selecting the word and then adding it to quick review, I included the option to add a quick review card by clicking the quick review button. It is no longer there just to review the cards. The next steps I would take to further develop my app would be to test the app again and make revisions based on user feedback and behaviors observed from the tester. I would use these results to refine the app into a mid-fidelity prototype. Start the cycle again and gradually integrate the user's feedback until I developed a high-fidelity prototype. The most valuable things I learned from this project is to not be afraid to dig deeper and ask why questions during user interviews. Probe deeper into their behaviors and motivations. Don't be a perfectionist. Focus more on the usability instead of the appearance. Getting it done is more important than getting it right. Remember that you are not designing for yourself, you are designing for the user. It can be easy to think about the problems you will personally have, but don't forget about your user persona. The way your users interact with your app might not align with your user flow, which is perfectly okay. You might be surprised by the different ways in which your user might take to achieve the task. This concludes the end of my presentation. Thank you for allowing me the opportunity to walk you through my project, Velox Vocab.